In the heart of the mountains in Papua New Guinea, the Huli tribe still lives according to ancestral customs. Footage like this is rare, all the more so as this way of life is disappearing a little more each day. Today is a day of celebration. After a 2-year initiation period led by the village elders, the young men have their hair cut very short in a ceremony with a long practiced ritual. Without their headdress, the young adults will now be able to get married. To celebrate this new status, the Huli begin a 1,000-year-old dance. The village chief fears this tradition is under threat.
Mangi puti murasa kadim here style na or something sense na halo bien lo fisha mi no sandis to na hadlo total disra one something do tumbuna plant something mi kopinis.
The main fear of this Huli chief, the unrelenting exploitation of the country's forest by international companies. For several years now, thousands of tons of rare and tropical wood have been stripped from the forests every day to be sold across the globe, while the indigenous populations of the exploited areas receive no benefit.
Nam didi kam set. Tripla. House kilometer no gat. Rod kilometer traffic.
Rod 2 and more.
Rod 2 and bakarap. People area plomi pla mi all tripla company all kisen diwai. Only no pipe good projati. Andi demis plomi pla bakarap mi pla no kisen.
A forest in ruin, shrinking rapidly, and with it the ancestral Papuan traditions. A symbol of this destruction, this ship loaded with thousands of tree trunks bound for Europe. Papua New Guinea has entered a new era, for better and for worse. Before attracting investors from all over the world, New Guinea, north of Australia, was for a long time a very isolated part of the world. The eastern part of the island became a member of the Commonwealth in 1918. Independent since 1975, it is a parliamentary monarchy whose head of state is still symbolically Queen Elizabeth II of England, who visited here in 1977. Almost double the size of the United Kingdom, it is a land of volcanoes. A mountainous land, covered with luscious forests as far as the eye can see. Green lungs that house a rare diversity of flora and fauna. A paradise for hikers from all over the world. The majority of the country's 8 million inhabitants are Papuans and still live inland, mainly for purposes of agriculture. Fleeing the misery of the countryside, more and more young people are finding themselves in cities. Unemployed and unoccupied, they fill the ranks of local gangs. As a result, last year, Port-Moresby was ranked the second most violent capital city in the world, behind Caracas in Venezuela. Here, the police are waging a merciless war against the Raskols, violent gangs from the slums.
It has been a no-go zone for police.
Jack is one of the Raskol bosses.
I was shot 9 times. Faint out to die, so we call him bulletproof.
Jack and his men use homemade weapons to forge a reign of terror.
I can make 2 barrel or 5 rounds or 6 rounds.
The country no longer charges violent attacks with punishment, car thefts with weapons, or even robberies.
They shoot people or hold their knife and knife them.
One of the reasons why Papua New Guinea is so violent is that the wealth is very poorly distributed, even though its subsoil is rich in gold, copper, zinc, oil and gas. Thanks to its wealth, the country has experienced an unrivaled property boom over the last 10 years and the emergence of the rich bourgeoisie. Some of them break codes and cliches, like Jackie, manager of a successful nightclub.
We're not all living in village huts. You know, we're not like wearing traditional clothing.
Extreme wealth, extreme poverty, endemic violence, and ancestral traditions that are disappearing. An exclusive investigation into the lost paradise of Papua New Guinea. Hundreds of meters from the tropical shores of Port-Moresby, the capital.
Let's hold up in the area we're in right now. Hold up.
We have to be quick. According to the latest information, 2 robbers have gone into hiding in the area. We enter the neighborhood where the 2 men supposedly retreated. The police are familiar with the area.
Now we'll speed up.
The police attempt to sneak up on the thieves. Lieutenant David searches the bunkers one by one. After a few minutes, his colleague finds a suspect. There is no indication that he was involved in the robbery, yet the police arrest him without mercy.
That's right.
Here, there is no presumption of innocence and no basic rights for the suspect. The policeman holds him to the ground.
Where he was? I was hiding inside. From here,
The police use a dog leash as handcuffs.
show us the rest of the boys. We still probably know all of them because they're crews, so they are gangs. So we'll know where they live and where they're taking the money.
Even in front of our camera, the police do not hesitate to hit the suspect without reason.
How you look at me?
Because sometimes, in most cases, police officers in PNG used to shoot people. Like, if he was continuously running, I would have shot his leg.
Face down!
And at least out of 5, we caught one. That's a big thing. So I'm happy. Yeah.
The police want to formally identify the man in their custody. When they arrive at the grocery shop, which was robbed, the manager is on guard. Attacks on businesses by corrupt police officers are common here. An employee finally comes out. He's going to be confronted with the suspect. Present at the crime, his testimony is crucial. But surprise? The employee is certain. The suspect who was arrested and assaulted is innocent. Embarrassed in uncomfortable silence, the police still want to check that the man they arrested is definitely not guilty. They ask to see the video surveillance footage. The video confirms the employee's testimony. The police officers did indeed make a mistake. The suspect is released. No question of compensation or even an excuse. The suspect will only get a little water to rinse out his bloody mouth. As for the real robbers, they are still at large. In this shanty town on stilts, we are given the exceptional opportunity to meet some other known armed robbers. Originally, Hanuabada is a former fishing village. With the large-scale rural migration in recent years, it has grown to 15,000 inhabitants. Abandoned and forgotten, the neighborhood is sinking deeper and deeper into misery and violence every day. A lawless zone where the police have not been allowed in for 2 years now. This is Jack's base, one of Papua New Guinea's most important mafia bosses. After several weeks of repeated contact, he finally agreed to talk to us directly.
If there's a job, we will have to find a stolen vehicle to execute that. Okay, we'll tell our juniors, okay, you fellows, try, find, carjack, and then bring a vehicle inside here, which is safe. And then we change the plate number, pull all the resources together, like arms and all that. And then we discuss the plan, how, when to execute. And then we plan from here and go out. Execute and come back here.
Don't let his relaxed demeanor fool you. He may seem harmless, but he has a full track record. His first robbery was at the age of 16, and the crimes multiply from there. In the camp, the stolen cars used in Jack and his men's robberies are left to rust. Today, the gang leader has an affair to deal with. One of his specialties, less risky than armed robbery, stealing luxury cars.
I'm trying to steal Toyota Land Cruiser 5-door. The owner parks it at the yacht club. He goes out to the ship, one of the yachts, and sleep there. Morning he comes, hops on, and then go out to work.
Jack has already had a spare key made. All he needs now are some false papers. Over the years, the gang leader has developed a very efficient network of accomplices.
You're gonna see your man?
Yeah, this one's gonna transfer the photo shots of our target local church. Wait, Teddy. I want the photo shots, please. Do you know how to send it? Jesus Christ. The photo again on there, pictures.
So send it again.
You steal it, we put it in a safe car park. Okay, the buyer, if the buyer agrees. But if the buyer is prepared to change all the paperwork and all that, we have a network inside the motor vehicle insurance. So they will change all the papers at his own cost, and then can own the vehicle.
And how much you can sell it?
So we can sell it for at least a fast sales at least 50,000, because it's a used one. And it's more safer, and the risks of being shot is zero.
To remain discreet and avoid the authorities, Jack still lives in the poor district of Kigari in the northeast of the city.
That's my house there. Up. Grandma, this is my family. This is my family. This is my mom. The one who look after me. Not my biological, but the one who took care of me. That's her daughter, my sister. This is my sister, my aunties. But this is my dad's small sister.
Are you proud of your son?
Yes, I'm proud of my son.
Why? Tell me.
Why? Because I'm getting old and he's getting old also, so he'll look after me.
Head of a criminal gang, Jack is also the primary breadwinner for his family and likes to give the impression that he's a defender of the widow and the orphan.
When you were kids, what was your dream?
I dream to be a lawyer because given my background, my father is a criminal. I focus on to go to school and get a good education and become a lawyer and fight justice, give justice to my people where there's so much injustice. what I'm doing now is not for myself, but for my children's future.
Failing to work in the courts, Jack specialized in crime. To set up his operations, the gang leader needs weapons, and for this, he has an in-house supplier.
I just make with a little bit small galvanized pipe, then I'll join it and issue it.
This gunsmith, who we'll call John, has been working for 28 years. This is the first time Jack's gang has agreed to have him filmed. He works only for the Raskols.
Boys come and look for a gun, I give it to them. So they went, hold up, or robbery.
John makes an average of 1 gun per month. His tools and techniques may be rudimentary to say the least, but one thing is certain, the finished products are effective.
This weapon will sometimes kill policemen or...
Yeah. I put the cut machine in here, put the cut machine in here, put it back, normally, turn it around, put the trigger up there, finish. Then, pa.
And which bullet you put inside?
Red BB. Okay. Finish.
How you find the bullet?
Community police or like that. And I ask them to give to me and I give them coins and they bring it to me. And
Sometimes it's dangerous, it could explode or...
now, like normally.
How long it took to make one?
Maybe 1 hour. That's all. I can make a 2 barrel or 5 rounds or 6 rounds. So I can make it. That's, to me, is simple. Stop one time, me no good plan dangerous. Evidence so, me sa him, all come because me walk him, me give one. So, me na sa holim planting. Until I put in request, me walk him, me give one.
A very risky business for John. If the police arrest him, he could face 10 years in prison.
And how much cost one?
This one for 1,000 kina.
A high price, as getting weapons here is particularly difficult. We go to the other end of the country, Dorado, 420 kilometers northeast of Port-Moresby. Every September since the 1950s, there is a festival here where the representatives of 70 tribes meet. There are 800 languages in the country, making up 10% of all languages spoken on the planet. A cultural wealth unique in the world. For 2 days, men, women and children, some who have traveled far, exhibit their traditional songs and dances decorated with ancestral war paintings.
Decorated mask so se boba soy molo se mol tevel go pa before tunguna na wag tingin so tayo looking ayo o man paint on the white na traba tit na kay traba ay no kam so ba porat na bara na waiting slam se blo kari mo se kalsa mo se pa pikini lo sla tema pikini asaro so se kalsa ba madmen so mas kari sa kalsa ba no can die pikini so mas go ahead.
A cultural gathering, this peaceful event also aims to ward off the violence of those societies where ethnic wars are still waging. Conflicts where the fighters have now swapped bows and arrows for guns. The latest to date, on July the 10th, 2019, was between 2 tribes in the north of the country and resulted in 32 deaths, including 9 children. This endemic tribal violence can also be explained by the rapid disappearance of local traditions.
Big man, I'm leading me along. I'll go out long also on sem, and me looking on sem. And the young people now today, only no thinking no drug now, only no thinking long. Go walk him still passing or this la all walk long enjoy him this la life. Where all like kissing this la kalsa come back. Then all by still na go around. bisla amino good la pasin. So mi pla line more long. Olim bisla kalso bla mi pla stop na kind of big plus so all same. Oli can he go na kisim sing na kisim lili money.
In recent years, the festival has become a means of earning money for these tribes. A show of traditions, it's now also an opportunity for tourists to see the local culture, including the flight from Port-Moresby, 2 nights minimum stay in a hotel, and the access to the festival. It costs at least 1,000 euros per person. Just the entrance to the site is 150 euros. This is unaffordable for the vast majority of the country's inhabitants who must stay outside the festival grounds. The highlight of this folklore show, the Mudmen.
We are madmen.
We enjoy very much, sir. And all these beautiful people.
Things like this are always just great fun. I love the energy, I love the colour, and I love to see people doing things that are for them, not just for tourists.
A somewhat naive look at this gathering where merchandise is everywhere. Photos, traditional weapons, pottery, and sculptures, including the bestseller, these Mudmen figurines made of clay. Everything has a price, even a question on film.
You need to buy me because I'm seeing camera stuff here.
You need to buy one from 10 kina now there. You actually plan to question there.
At 1 p.m., the locals can finally attend the festival at a reduced rate, 3 euros a ticket. And for the pickpockets, opportunities open up.
How much money you got?
470 kina plus
125 euros is almost a month's salary here. Easy money in this remote corner of the world, where without jobs, many Papuans are just surviving. After the Sing Sing festival, we extended our trip to the very heart of the country's mountains. Here, the untouched forest covers nearly 3/4 of the territory and homes natural treasures beyond comparison. 20,000 varieties of plants, 3,000 types of insects, more than 800 species of birds, including the famous bird of paradise, as well as many bats. The famous Mudmen live on the outskirts of these breathtaking landscapes. We are in the village of Ancestral. Jim is the leader of this community of a few hundred people. Their daily life doesn't feature masks nor mud. Today, their tradition above all is to sell folklore to tourists.
We can sell it for 200 kina if the tourists want to buy.
Mr. Putit Lopik, nah, and take me 1 day low, finishing.
If the tourist comes, we get money. We perform to the tourists, the madmen, and we get money. If the tourists didn't come, then we don't perform and we have no money.
Everyone here works for the tourists. Without a pension, the senior citizens also try to earn a few euros. Apart from this meager income, the Mudmen survive only on the land.
We in the village, we always plant sweet potatoes because on one bag is 50 kina.
Okay.
Or 70 kina. Can you see there's a sweet potato here? Oh, not ready yet. That's not ready yet.
A profitable crop, the surplus will be sold at the Garoka market. Not enough to allow parents to send their children to school or to buy consumer goods. Like most Papuan villages, Asaro is not connected to electricity or drinking water. To make ends meet, the village has developed another activity, an illegal one. A little out of the way, Jim takes us to this small hut where he makes alcohol.
These bananas is already getting ready with the orange.
In charge of manufacturing, Eric explains his method.
San tamro ground is misi somisa putul tapo papaya and double hit hot. Double hit because what is a plop hurry
Cambridge built another thing.
I'm not here.
Good problem solving and rather artisanal. Artisanal and very effective. With his homemade juice, Eric manages to make an extremely strong alcohol, between 60 and 70%.
Sometimes people can become violent because of this.
Yes, they can fight. They really want to fight you, or they can really could be a house also. You can go crazy. You will like to kill those wife or your children. You can.
Too strong? So what about is strong?
At €4 a litre of banana alcohol, the small-time trafficker isn't rolling in gold. So to supplement his income, he has also developed an even riskier business, growing cannabis.
Start. Height gupla. Kes mikisim clear gold this layer. Height gold start lo ground. Clear gold lo people here. But I the police hard and dangerous. Mipla height because police only mipla. Pamplago sim kalabuse 5 to 10 years pamplaxim.
Big risks to survive everyday life. In Papua New Guinea, few escape poverty. Only a tiny minority benefits from the country's wealth. Back to Port-Moresby. We are at the Gold Club, the biggest nightclub in the capital. Here, the blissful youth and expatriates come to party to Western house music. Women fill and run the joint. On the dance floor, women. On the decks, also women. And to manage it all, Jackie, the manager, is very proud of her establishment.
This is the place to be. This is where you meet everyone. You could meet a prime minister here, you could meet your next door neighbor here. But this is where everyone comes to collaborate, enjoy themselves, relax, enjoy, have a good time.
However, the club isn't really for everyone. At €7 per entrance fee and €4 per half pint of beer, the Gold Club is reserved for the elite of the country. Guarded by numerous security agents, the establishment is an island of tranquility, far from the violence that plagues the capital.
International guests come over, and we're happy that they can see another side of Papua New Guinea. We're not all living in village huts. You know, we're not like wearing traditional clothing. We don't have face paint all the time.
On the floor below, Jackie shows us the club's gold mine, the slot machines.
Hi, Jackie, how are you? I'm good, thank you. Good to see you, yeah. 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 These are my regulars. Yes. They love coming out here, having a quiet time.
Like Las Vegas, yeah?
It's like Vegas, but you know the people. Yeah.
Jackie takes care of her regulars, and for good reason. Thanks to about 50 machines, every night the Gold Club earns thousands of euros.
Hello guys, good luck on your machines.
Jackie doesn't own the club. She works for Yanis Nicolaou. This Greek immigrant arrived in the country without a diploma and without a penny in his pocket at the age of 18. 35 years later, he is now at the forefront of a flourishing nightclub empire. Yanis accepts to be interviewed the next morning at the marina where he houses his latest toys. This small port is home to the most beautiful sailing boats and yachts in the country. Yanis owns 5 of them.
That's the other one. How much is it about like that?
about 300,000 US.
Another one of his boats, the one he uses to take his wealthier clients for a ride.
And what the price you have approximately of this kind of boat? That boat? Yeah. That would be about 1.2 million. Yeah.
Ioannis became a multimillionaire thanks to his work, but mostly because he was one of the first Westerners to come to Port-Moresby to do business. At the time, there was a lot to do.
It is us that kind of developed it. We had our license is NCD, National Capital District 001. So we're obviously the first ones to get the machines. And now we're running the biggest gaming machine venue in the country. As long as you chase your dream, as long as you chase your goal, yeah, it will happen.
Success in Port-Moresby is a matter of will. But when we talk about the rampant corruption here, Ioannis is immediately much less comfortable.
We have read in the newspaper that there's a little bit of corruption, you know.
Yeah. Not my place, though, to comment about corruption. Yeah, I think this might put us into trouble.
Every year, Papua New Guinea is ranked amongst the top 10 most corrupt countries in the world. A symbol of the scourge, this building by renowned Austrian architects, which cost more than 30 million euros. A show of grandeur inaugurated in 2018 to host a summit of APEC, the Economic Cooperation Organization for the Asia-Pacific. In order to bring the 21 heads of state of the organization there, the government of the Prime Minister Peter O'Neill bought dozens of Maseratis with public funds. Costs for the taxpayer nearly 8 million euros. Today, the building is empty. And as for the luxury cars, nobody has seen them since this event. After investigation, we learn that they could be stored away in these nearby sheds. On our arrival, the guard confirms their presence behind these gates.
Nothing to do?
Where they are?
You can see them. If you give you like 100 or 200 kina. Want to see us?
Ironically, it's by corrupting the two guards that we will be able to film these cars discreetly.
How are you? Good? 200, and we stay 5 minutes.
Okay, then come forward.
Inside, 40 brand new Maseratis at 200,000 euros each, gathering dust for over a year. The purchase of these cars caused a scandal in this poverty-stricken country. But nothing changed. Not only was the minister responsible for the purchase not put under investigation, but he even remained in his post. Had he been convicted, this minister would likely have been sent to the largest prison in the country, Bumana Penitentiary Center, a few kilometers from the capital.
Wearing uniform, report law security office. This line item name, report law security office.
Under these rusty metal barracks, rapists, murderers and rascal robbers live amongst each other. Here, the administration only separates the convicts from those awaiting trial, like this man who has been behind these gates for over a year.
Meda.
Into Meda?
Yeah.
In this prison, there is a lack of everything. Lack of means, lack of personnel. Only 4 unarmed guards for 600 inmates.
We work like this, we are unarmed. We use our mouth and our brain to, talk to them, to stabilize them down.
But how do you manage to stabilize?
We use there's an alarm there. When we cannot contain the big group, we use the alarm to get support. The members will hear the alarm and they will come, and reinforcement will come and support us in our duty.
These 4 guards rarely call for reinforcements. Formerly the most dangerous prison in the country, Bumana's situation has improved over the last 5 years. In order to ensure peace, the new management has asked the prisoners to take control of their own security. In exchange, they were given more freedom within the grounds. A give and take that seems to work.
This is one of our huts here.
Each barrack has its own head of security. In this one, the boss is Joe, 45 years old.
I brought up in prison.
Okay.
Since I was 11 to 12 years old, I came inside prison.
Different sentences for different crimes: armed robbery, petty theft, and even murder. Sentenced to 25 years in prison, Joe will remain here until 2025. His days are spent in this dormitory hut. Back to basics.
Still not coming for you. This is my place. This is my corner. I sleep here. I sleeps on it. I don't have blanket. Our water is hot. Climate is hot. And this one too will be hot. If climate change, cold wind comes, then I breathe wind. If very hot, I come down and sit down on the cement.
How much you are in this tenant?
This cell is capable for only 42. But if it's overcrowding, the number will go up towards 53, 56.
Prisoners here have no mattresses to sleep on, no television, no telephone, except for some privileged people like Joe.
You don't have a mobile phone or...
Yeah, I have my phone.
Oh.
I have one.
You can see it?
Yeah, it's okay.
So it's possible?
It's possible.
With a little money and a little corruption, prisoners sometimes manage to improve their conditions, but with a big risk. Behind this iron curtain is solitary confinement. In this very small space, prisoners spend between a few weeks and a few months, with no leniency of getting out.
No water.
No water.
These men are all here for the same reason. They broke one of the rules of the prison.
The incident was caused by drinking alcohol.
Inside permanent, alcohol?
Yeah, in alcohol.
How you manage to get alcohol, telephone, all this?
That's a good question. There's a bit confidential. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
The prisoner is cautious. A guard is standing just behind us.
Only security. Okay. Is it easy to pay the guard, police?
Yes.
They get money and they give you?
Yes.
It works like that?
After years of confinement and isolation, the prison administration sometimes allows inmates to be released on parole. We're at the Port-Moresby Central Market. This morning, prisoners under high surveillance are cleaning the area around the market. Not all prisoners participate in this community service. Conditions are required to be deserving, but also to be at the end of their sentence.
There are some few months left, so they have to come out. So easy. So if they want to escape, then they will think that, oh no, I have some few months left before I get released free. So I don't need to escape. So they don't usually take the ones that they are saving lifetime, no. Because when they are here and if they find gap, they will escape.
Prisoners in the street, an unusual spectacle that attracts attention. Some of them have good reason to be there.
They got only a chance to come and then family can see them, people like us. We can see them and talk to them.
The opportunity for hugs and sometimes surprising reunions. This detainee had not seen his daughters for 9 years. In view of his criminal past, it's surprising that he's still able to see them.
Yeah, they're my two kids, two girls. They were small and I left them.
How long you didn't see them?
About 9 years when I was in prison. They were small.
Married wife. My wife. Some mistakes.
For his family, it has been trying times.
We don't have time to sit there. The only chance is when they come out.
Papua New Guinea no longer counts murders like these as seriously. Here, women pay a particularly high price for the violence of men. 80% of men admit to beating their wives regularly, and 1 in 2 women report to be victims of rape during their lifetime.
My husband got jealous of me and he got a stone and he hit me on my leg. Then he went out and he just got mad and he got this hand and then he came and he tried to come and hit me. And then I screamed and I went back at my mother's back and I hid from him.
This afternoon, Lydia, 20 years old, goes to the Salvation Army, one of the few shelters for abused women in the country. She comes here for medical help, but more so for safety.
But it's no pain, no, but it's pain. You must have been blow you alright, or step in. Kami boleh you back tomorrow. Fly alright, was clinic blow me playa. Now when we stay, and Bell Mama now almost closed now. So you think you can stop overnight as well here by your right? Okay, can you go back? Look at the service.
Midla manat ron nangayan na awa midlamba to.
You have other friends who have already been beaten by their husband? It's usual.
Yeah, it's usual.
It's happened often.
Tonight, Lydia and her daughter will finally be safe. The next day, after getting care, the young woman has the courage to go to the police station in her neighborhood. Cases like Lydia's happen very often. This woman holding her child was also beaten the same morning. She bears the mark of her husband's violence on her face.
Last time I've been by the lips, then time I'm looking baby at time. So now I'm by the low side, them, I'm sister, na broke head, them time, money. I'm all brothers, money come now, all running mem now. I'm coming.
Lydia is finally called to the office which handles domestic violence cases.
Yeah, every ferry you class, you are not preferring them. Bami come down to one day.
Oh, only to complain very fast.
Will anything come of Lydia's complaint? Unlikely. Last year, the investigation of over 75% of domestic violence cases did not amount to anything. We return to the city centre to find Jack, chief of the Raskols. He wants to show us that everything here has a price, particularly the policeman.
Fetty. Dex, no vamos Korea. Okay. Spin. Okay. All right. Our friend has been caught just up there because no license at the roadblock. So we just go see the corruption. We just go give one money and they release him.
And the police already asked for money.
Typical. This is Papua New Guinea. From the top down, they all corrupted there.
A few minutes later, the gang leader arrives on the scene.
Yeah, it's here. You go to the front.
Jack's friend is the man in the red t-shirt and crutches. Before we arrived, he had already tried to negotiate with an officer to reduce the fine. Now it's the chief of police's turn to come and finalize the negotiation.
How much was that?
Like on 200, yeah.
Oh, I'm reasonable charge. That's the last charge.
Yeah.
I'm going to charge him all.
Yeah,
I'm reasonable charge all put him. 200 kina, I'm not charge play. Me believe us.
Yeah, I'm talking police information.
I'm a Raskols. I was going to kiss him when I'm to here. Look at doctor. I'm
Police license.
Yes, I'm reasonable charge. I'm only a more charges.
The policeman let them go for 50 euros, a bribe that is nearly a third of the local minimum wage. Jack gives some notes to his friend. The deal is closed.
So what's going on there? They said okay. Go. They charged 500 kina, but we negotiated and they cut it down to 200 kina.
This kind of police corruption is common in Papua New Guinea, resembling racketeering. Port-Moresby is covered in checkpoints where the slightest infraction is negotiated, filling the pockets of civil servants. Police officers are often in close proximity with thugs, sometimes to a shocking extent.
These are our officers from Badili police and the town.
Yeah, town.
This is a Kelly Omo, a Nigerian, but from Maimuru and Orokoro mix. So he's a Saka. He's a Saka. Like my brother here, we went in prison together one time. That was some years back. He fought with the wardens. About 5 or 10, he belted them. Now his stomach is out. That time was tough.
So hence we've been through that. Namila Kamosem looks away Logupla Pasina no good. So all we are doing now is implementing it, assisting the officers. So if anything is happening anywhere, we know where to go because we know who must have done it and who must have done it. Instead of the other officers that are doubting, we know the in and out, so we know exactly how to apprehend anyone. That's it. Yeah, so that's that.
Okay, thank you, Kelly.
Yeah. All right.
I'm taking them through just to photograph us. Okay, thank you.
These policemen are under the command of the chief rascal. Jack doesn't hang around.
Sometimes you get some information from the police.
Yeah, I have my police there. I have my police in there, but they are not here.
But
They give information, all that, you know. But sometimes they support, give arms and all that.
They give you harm
Yeah,
also.
yeah. So these fuckers, there's low-profile ones. I have the big boys there.
With or without the help of the police, in order to pull off his coups, the rascal gang leader often meets up with his associates far from prying eyes.
Secure place, a safe place where we can come and talk and discuss things, yeah?
Safe place?
Yeah, safe place.
This is his partner in crime, a longtime friend whose body is marked by years of confrontations with the police.
Our brother is shot 9 times, different occasions. He finally had to die, so we call him bulletproof.
Yeah, they shot me and second M16 went here, same place again. My hand and my stomach. Some of my friends, we went and do a robbery and like a policeman shot me and I shot 3 policemen.
Shot here. The pallet is still here.
And you never want to remove it?
Risky. In the operation, they might cut a nerve or something and I'll paralyze or something, that's why.
So you keep the bullet?
Yeah, it stays with me.
The bullet.
And you get...
My side just came in from my ass, then it came out from my dick.
And you still...
And I thought that my got lost, you know. And somehow, when I looked down, I'm okay.
Faced with the increasingly repressive police, Jack is working more and more with his former rivals. The gun-toting twins share everything, right down to beets. Highly appreciated in this region, this plant prizes itself on its psychoactive effects. It also dyes the teeth red.
So we pull resource now. So you find a stolen vehicle, he looks for a gun, or several guns, me to like come to a good place, organize, and then bang. When the time comes, we go hit camp. Whatever we get, 50,000 or 20,000 or 30,000, we come. At least we spend.
So what I do now is, I see the small ones coming up at the back of me coming up. I tell them, don't do this. You do this, and keep your mouth.
The code of what do they say? Code of silence. Code of silence. So if we do an operation successful, and then we say, in the event after police investigation and they apprehend one of us, you have to be silent. Don't ever to put his name or my name or his name. No. If you open your mouth and give information, and when you go up to prison, you'll be bust up. Fucked.
Between the three of them, these gang leaders have spent nearly 20 years behind bars. According to Jack, they would have had to do 3 times as much if they didn't have the money to bribe the judges with. The new government, appointed last year, promised to make the fight against corruption its priority, as did all its predecessors.